right, everyone. Here we go. Episode 2. Monday Night Football just ended. Kansas City wins in overtime. It's about almost 10:30. We'll go ahead and pop open my beer. Allstott German beer. It's actually pretty good. It's a Schwartz beer. Me and my brother were making fun of it. It's the Schwartz from Spaceballs. Schwartz beer. But it's pretty good. You ain't tried it? Go out and try it. But yeah, so we'll start with Monday Night Football. Chiefs win again. Up until that last drive in overtime, still look kind of iffy. I'm sure every other Chiefs fan got kind of scared. Mahomes limping there, thought he was out for a while, thought he was done. I did too. It looked like it was a non-contact, like it could have been a season. But comes back in, good to go. Leads the game-winning drive, and yeah, that's it. The addition of DeAndre Hopkins for that team, huge difference. 2 touchdowns a day to go with Kelsey. That defense, of course. But again, I go back to Kansas City. Who do they play? Play Baker Mayfield, who's got no wide receivers. So, yes, the last drive was good, but I 8-0, but I don't see anybody on the schedule they really should have beaten. So, yeah, we'll have to see how they go, where it goes from there. Yeah, I mean, that's Monday Night Football. What are the big news today? Oh, Dallas Cowboys lost your quarterback for a couple weeks. Not that it was gonna mean much. They're already 3-5 now after getting beat by Atlanta. I think he said multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. Wouldn't be surprised though. They roll off some wins with Cooper Rush. He's actually pretty decent. I think he's 5-1 as a starter. Doesn't lose very often. But yeah, as far as like Dallas season, I think the season's over. I know Jerry Jones was like, I still have hope. We could make some moves at the trade deadline. And at this point, I'm like, what moves are you going to make? Your season's pretty much done. You didn't get anybody in the offseason, and it's really showing now. And not to mention CeeDee Lamb's out too. So your 2 highest players are hurt. Although I think I saw that CeeDee Lamb has a chance to play this week. But you don't have anybody to throw the ball to you, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Atlanta just completely demolished the Cowboys. Not a good look for them. And best team in the NFL right now, I have to say, is not Kansas City. Sorry, people out there. Mom, sorry, it's not Kansas City. Best team in the NFL right now, the Detroit Lions. After the way they dismantled Green Bay yesterday, in Green Bay in the rain, yeah, Detroit would be my favorite to win, to go to, not only go to but win the Super Bowl right now. The way Jared Goff's playing right now, throwing the ball to St. Brown. I think I saw a stat earlier. His last 30 passes, no incompletions to St. Brown. You got those 2 running backs, Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they call them Sonic and Knuckles, which makes sense. Jahmyr Gibbs is a fast one. Montgomery is the bulldozer, runs people over. The defense looks pretty legit too. I know they have a tendency to break a little bit, but with the Lions have the ability to score points really, really fast, and that's scary. And in the NFC, I don't see anybody that's going to beat them right now. I know everybody's like, oh, San Francisco. No, they're not healthy. I know McCaffrey's supposed to come back, but he's not going to be in football shape. I just don't see San Francisco beating the Detroit Lions. So my favorite from the NFC is Detroit. I mean, as of right now, I would probably say they probably do win the Super Bowl. I don't see a team in the AFC, not even my Steelers, unfortunately, that could beat the Lions right now. The Lions are just a complete team all around. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes with Detroit, with the rest of the NFC as well. As far as in the AFC, I know Buffalo got a big win this week. Buffalo, Josh Allen, the guy's a beast. Finds a way to win week after week. just can't beat Patrick Mahomes. Hoping this is the year he beats Mahomes, just so we get somebody different in the Super Bowl. Baltimore Ravens put up a big win against Denver, which was kind of expected. 42 points though is a whole nother thing altogether. 42 points on Denver, that's just like statement win right there. I know Lamar Jackson went off again, and of course they're playing in my fantasy league where I lose because of Lamar Jackson. Even though I had Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson kind of offsets him. But I mean, the Ravens, yeah, I mean, when they want to look good, they look good. But we'll see how they still got 2 games against Pittsburgh. In the last couple of years, Pittsburgh has owned the Ravens. Not saying that's going to happen this year, but just going off history. And then, of course, if they make the playoffs, they got to deal with Buffalo. They got to deal with Kansas City. Probably Pittsburgh again. The last couple of years, they've played Pittsburgh 3 times. So they've got a tough road ahead of them, as does Pittsburgh. Had a bye this week, but they got all their conference games coming up. So we'll see how good they really are. I know it's my team, but I'm gonna be realistic. If they can beat their rivals in the division, then we look good. I said conference games, I meant division games. Sorry. So we'll see how it comes up this week. This week we get the Commanders, which is gonna be surprisingly good games. Commanders are 7-2. Jaden Daniels kid looked good again this week. I know they played the Giants. Daniel Jones actually had a good game for once. So we'll see if the Commanders defense bends or breaks next week against Russell Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson's looked good the last 2 weeks. Hoping he comes out firing next week. Hoping with the trade deadline coming up that Pittsburgh trades for another wide receiver. Just to add some more firepower to that offense. Speaking of teams in need, Houston Texans, Halloween, lose to Aaron Rodgers and the pathetic Jets. I say pathetic, but they beat the Texans, even though Houston is beat up. I know Houston's getting Nico Collins back, but they lost linemen. I think they lost one. Their left guard, I think it was. So I wouldn't be surprised if Houston makes a move at the deadline for an offensive lineman as well, just to help bolster that offensive line, because they can't protect C.J. Stroud, and he's been getting beat up the last couple of weeks. That's for sure. So I would be surprised if they make a move before the trade deadline comes around. If they can protect Stroud, they got a good shot in the AFC to make a move. Not necessarily Super Bowl, because that AFC stacked, but you got a good shot. Last night's game, the Colts and the Vikings, which, by the way, remember last week I said that the Colts needed to bench Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco, which they did. The very next day it came out that they benched Anthony Richardson. And then Joe Flacco comes out and lays a dud like last night. To be fair, though, both teams, the Vikings and the Colts, laid duds last night. It looked like a Thursday night game on Sunday Night Football. It was boring. Not to mention Jonathan Taylor and Aaron Jones stunk it up, cost me a win in another fantasy league because they both didn't do nothing. But the Vikings get the win. I think they're at 6-3 now, so it looks like they're up there in that NFC North. That NFC North looks tough. Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay, and then you got the Bears, which are sitting there at the bottom, which they lost again last week. So I think the Bears. I think the Bears are done. I think they're in that category with the Cowboys, where they're not going to go anywhere this year, which is expected from Chicago because Caleb Williams, again, being rookie, it happens. But again, that NFC North looks tough. I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 teams make it to the playoffs. But I'm still going to go with Detroit coming out of the NFC to beat, at this point, the way teams are playing, whoever comes out of the AFC, whether it's Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, whoever comes out of the AFC, I still got Detroit as of right now. As of today, that could change next week, but that's where we're at today. It depends how teams play next week, but Detroit's been consistent all year, so I'm gonna stay on that Detroit bandwagon. I do need to touch on the Philadelphia Eagles game because if you didn't see what Saquon Barkley did, that reverse hurdle, yeah, you need to Google that because it's got to be probably the most insane play in NFL history that I've ever seen. Uh, to hurdle somebody backwards, yeah, it was insane. Watching it in real time, live TV, yeah, that was it was just crazy. And then going back to watch the replay, watching the slow mo, watching some of the pictures that people took of it, yeah, that was. Shout out to Saquon Barkley for that. Um, Saquon is basically the Eagles' offense this year. Yeah, Jalen Hurts has his on and off games, but he's the only consistent. Saquon Barkley, and to think that the Giants did not want to pay him, and they rather pay Daniel Jones, and now Saquon Barkley is MVP candidate this year. Yeah, if I'm New York, if I'm the GM for the Giants, I'm pretty pissed off right now that I didn't pay him. And yeah, honestly, you know what? If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm pretty pissed off. I could have paid either Derrick Henry or I could have paid Saquon Barkley. Didn't pay anyone. None. He decided to pay Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and what happens? Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Philadelphia, they'll live and die by Saquon Barkley. I think AJ Brown was hurt again, week to week. Man is injury prone this year. I don't know what's going on with that. And then Jalen Hurts, like you said, has his on weeks, has his off weeks. So we'll see where it goes from there. Um, as far as the rest of the games this week, I mean nothing surprising, at least to me, came out of this week. I think everything was pretty much kind of like we expected. Cincinnati got a win. Joe Burrow with his 5 touchdowns. I can't say Cincinnati's back yet because they don't. It really depends on the competition they play. Chargers demolished Cleveland, even though with Jameis Winston and his pre-game speeches, post-game speeches. Like I said last week, if you've never seen his speeches, go watch him because that man can inspire people. Didn't lead to a win, but he can inspire some people. Yeah, so I mean, it was a pretty good week again in the NFL. I mean, no real major upsets that came this week. So, definitely one of those weeks where everything went as it should, except for my fantasy league. Yeah, I keep saying it because my fantasy league sucked this year. Even though I swear I drafted well, but it seems every week I play somebody that just goes off, and my team just stinks. So I don't know what's going on with that. We'll have to see how things go next week. I think we're going into week 10, a little bit halfway through the season. A lot of important games coming up, so we'll see how next week rolls as far as that goes. And then of course tomorrow, one of the most important days of the year. No, I'm not talking about the presidential election. I'm talking about the NFL trade deadline tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time. So if your team doesn't do anything, you get upset, deal with it. It happens every year. But some teams make those moves that will change the rest of their season. Help them get to the Super Bowl, help them make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm hoping there's a lot of moves just to give us something to talk about next week. But I've also seen past couple years where it's been kind of slow. But there's a lot of teams in need of different positions, running backs, receivers, offensive linemen. I'm hearing Kansas City may go after Marshawn Lattimore. Like they need more on that defense already, but we'll see how Kansas City does with that. Yeah, so hoping it'll be a busy day tomorrow. As far as the trade deadline goes, yes, I know it's a busy day for other people with the election, which, okay, I'll touch on the election. If you ain't gone to vote, go vote tomorrow. I already did my civic duty and voted. If you don't vote, don't complain. Shut your mouth. You don't have a right to complain about nothing. That's all I'm going to say. At the same time, if you did vote and your party doesn't win tomorrow, don't act like a little bitch about it. Let's not be one of those people that incite riots or whatever. We don't need to do that. I mean, We saw what happened last time that happened, January, a couple years ago. We don't need none of that. So if you're one of those people, don't do it. Just no, let it go. I mean, we'll go from there. I don't talk. I'm not a political person. Y'all know me and all that. I don't talk politics. I shut it down real quick. But my only PSA is if you go vote, you have a right to complain. If you ain't gonna vote, shut the fuck up. That's all I'm gonna say. So yes, of course, people will be watching it tomorrow. But me personally, I'm more excited because of the trade deadline. Shows you where my priorities are, right? So yeah. Anyway, college football. Good week in college football. A couple upsets in college football. I don't know if I like the new top 25 rankings that came out. I know Penn State lost to Ohio State. I think that was a 3-4 at the time. No, 2-3, I believe it was at the time. Penn State loses to Ohio State. Top 5 matchup. They fall to number 6 behind Texas, who did not have a game this week. Not sure I agree with that. I mean, it's a top 5 matchup and you lose. Yeah, I agree you fall, but I don't know if you fall to a team that didn't play this week. Would have been much happier to see Texas stay at 6, Penn State at 5, and that would make more sense to me. Again, we got 3 or 4 weeks left in the college football season. It's going to be interesting with this 12-team college football playoff. A&M gets upset this week. Everybody was like, A&M was undefeated in SEC play. Well, they lose their first one in SEC play, but it's their second loss of the year, which a lot of experts out there are saying 2 losses get you out in this college football playoff. But all these SEC teams keep playing each other, so I wouldn't be surprised if a 3-loss team makes it into the playoff. Just because these SEC teams keep playing each other, and I feel like they're going to knock each other off. So it'll be interesting with the 12-team playoff format. I'm going to be curious. I think tomorrow is actually the first day they release the college football playoff. So another thing to look forward to tomorrow, outside of the trade deadline, is see what the first 12-team playoff looks like. Who sits where, who's sitting out. It'll be interesting to see. Shout out to UTSA. Got a win this week. I know they've been looking kind of rough this year, but beat number 25 Memphis, 44-36. I think was the final score. Big win for them. Big win. Hopefully we'll get them to have a winning season this year. I know they've been rebuilding since Frank Harris left and been trying to roll with Owen McCowan, who's not bad, but he's definitely not a Frank Harris. Defense has been looking real suspect this year, so I don't know. I mean, rebuilding year, so you can't necessarily expect the same every year, unless you're like Alabama or one of those big schools, which unfortunately don't know UTSA will ever get the NIL money for that. But, it's the only football team San Antonio has, and we get behind them. Now, I say that, but then also notice that, Incarnate Word got on the football team, and they play in the FBS, which, for those that don't know, is FCS, I believe. FBS is the big dogs. FCS is like 2A, basically. They're like a tier below all the big schools. But yeah, they actually produced Cam Ward, who's a Heisman candidate this year. You ought to know that. Started in Incarnate Word, transferred to Washington State, now plays in Miami. So there's another college football team here that just don't get as much recognition. Only reason I bring up Incarnate Word is because of I can't remember the receiver's name offhand. Started his touchdown celebration, duplicated by Drake London and Amon-Ra St. Brown this weekend. Get a chance, Google it. He started it, I think, on Saturday and Sunday, both of them. Once they scored their touchdowns, the exact same touchdown celebration. The only way I can describe it, actually, I don't even know how you can describe it. It's like a handstand handstand, and then they go stiff, and then they fall down. So yeah, Google it. It's the best way I can describe it. But yeah, so I mean, shout out to that receiver for getting national recognition from those two wide receivers for doing that. As far as that goes, college, like I said, back to college football, back to the rankings. We'll see tomorrow how that goes. I know a couple Saturday's big game for all. I think there's 3 SEC games that have ranked teams, or at least I think we'll have playoff implications. I know UT's got Florida, Alabama and LSU, Georgia, and I think it's Mississippi State. So all those teams, I think all of them are, with the exception of Florida, I think all those teams are ranked. So, and all of them have one loss. Well, Alabama's got 2, but most of them have one loss already. So that's why, I mean, that's what I'm saying by the SEC. I wouldn't be surprised if a 3-loss team gets in. So, be another good week of college football to watch. Come Saturday, and those games are back to back to back. So I know what I'll be doing Saturday, right? We'll see how that goes. What else happened? What else was going on this weekend? Oh, Spurs basketball. I know season just started. I've caught a couple other games. Little upset that I can't get this FanDuel Sports Network. I have YouTube TV because of the NFL ticket, right? And yeah, for whatever reason, YouTube TV doesn't have FanDuel Sports Network, which used to be Fox Sports, which used to be Bally's, whatever the hell it was called. So, trying to find out where I can watch these games without having to go somewhere and watch it all the time. So if you got the FanDuel Sports Network, let me know. We'll work something out. So watch those games. And I don't want to pay $20 a month for FanDuel Sports Network. I mean, if I have to, I guess I will, but I'd rather spend my $20 somewhere else. But I want to watch the Spurs game because going back to where I was getting, actually looked pretty good this year. Nobody wants to give them any props or any chance to even make the playoffs. I think the most they were given is like, oh, they'll make the play-in, that's it. But watching the Spurs, last couple games, they look pretty good. They beat Minnesota Saturday. I don't want to say they demolished them. They didn't blow them out either, but they beat them, I think, about 15 points. Wemby's obviously doing his thing. He's got a point guard, Chris Paul, now. I know Chris Paul, 39 years old, oldest man, and I think he's the oldest player in the NBA, but throwing those lobs to Wemby, being the point guard that the Spurs didn't have, being that mentor to Stephen Castle, I don't know, not his first name, but the rookie they drafted. By the way, even without the mentorship of Chris Paul, man looks pretty good. The kid looks pretty good. I think he's 19, maybe 20. Coming off the bench, kid can play. I think definitely he's going to be the future of the Spurs as far as point guard goes. You got Wemby, of course, is who you're building around, but Castle definitely looks good. The rest of the team, I don't like Sohan, but he looks all right. He's doing pretty good. Waiting for them to get Devin Vassell back, see how that fits into their lineup. Keldon Johnson coming off the bench for now. He dropped 25, 26 on Saturday. Looking like a mini Russell Westbrook sometimes. They look good. I think they're sitting at 500. They're actually playing tonight, but again, because I don't have that damn channel, can't watch it. But I checked the score before I started doing this podcast. I think they were up by 11 or 12 on the Clippers out in LA. Of course, the Clippers, without Kawhi Leonard, who doesn't ever play anymore. I don't know why he just doesn't retire. I think what it was, Stephen A. Smith called him the worst superstar ever in the NBA. Man never plays, paying him a lot of money. Makes you glad that the Spurs let him go or traded him away or whatever. Because he's had a couple championships, but he's not healthy. And then there's this lawsuit out there with former trainer against the Clippers involving Kawhi Leonard too. So definitely a lot of drama around that man. Like I said, ever since he left, kind of lost respect for him because of the way he pushed himself out. But I digress again. Going back to what I was saying about the Spurs, I think they got potential. I think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think beyond the play-in tournament. I don't think they'll be playing. I think I'll make a bold prediction. I think they're going to hit like 5 or 6 in the West. the way they're playing. I think they'll make some moves at the trade deadline. I know they got a lot of picks they could possibly use to bring in another veteran. I know a lot of people talk about, the Spurs might tank again so they can get Cooper Flag. I don't know if Wemby's down for that. Wemby's young, but he wants to win now. I don't think he wants to waste another year of quote unquote tanking for Cooper Flag. Plus, you've got all those picks anyway, so you could trade up if you wanted to, even if you don't tank the season. But yeah, I my personal opinion, I can see him 5 or 6 in the West, avoiding the play-in tournament. And again, that's just going also looking at the West right now. I know it's early in the season, but a lot of those teams in the West don't look very good. Lakers are 4-2, but Lakers have a tendency to collapse later in the season. LeBron just getting old. I saw an interview with him the other day, and look at gray hair on his head. Doesn't even bother to hide it anymore. I'm like, man, this dude's still playing. Yeah, I think they're just getting old. The whole Bronny situation and LeBron, that kind of. I'm gonna go on a rant for like a minute, 2 minutes, so y'all bear with me. The whole stunt, LeBron and his son Bronny. I get it. Father wants to play with his son. I understand that. Great. Okay. I don't like how it shook down or how it went down. LeBron's agent basically threatening the rest of the NBA. If you draft Bronny James, he's going to go to Australia or whatever country the hell it was. The kid ain't that good yet. He should have spent a couple more years in college. I know that last year he had that health issue, so I get it. But I feel it was a publicity stunt just so LeBron James could get what he wanted. I think you give him a couple more years in college, he'll turn into a legit NBA player. He's not there right now. Going back to how it went down, and I've told this to a bunch of my friends, family, whatever, I would have called him out on their bluff. More importantly, I think the Boston Celtics had the pick right before the Lakers took him. I don't know, Boston and LA, they don't like each other, right? I want Boston. I would have called up LA and said, "Hey, we're taking your son. You can go to Australia if you want. If you want him, you give us X, Y, and Z." That's what I would have done. Hold him hostage. Why not? Call him out on their bluff. Realistically, he's not going to play much this year anyway, so that's what I would have done. But I'm an asshole. So I would have done it. I would have called him on their bluff and said, "All right. Well, we got him. Go ahead, go play in Australia. You don't need it. And if you want him back, well, then you're gonna give us Austin Reeves or somebody that would have been a good addition to the Celtics, just to call him on their bluff. The way they let LeBron control that. That's what I guess is upsetting to me. But what can I do? I don't. All I can do is vent my frustration. But it was stupid. It was done. And then all the hype they made over it was just. It was ridiculous. Like, honestly, like I said, I'm not saying the kid can't play, but he's not. I don't think he's NBA ready. They need to send him to the G League now, but I don't even think LeBron wants him to go to the G League. Wants him to travel with him, wants him to spend his time with his kid, which I get that part too, but I don't know. The whole part is just kind of messed up. But yeah, so far with the NBA, that's kind of what I see. I know there's a lot of drama in the East too, with Embiid. They're investigating his so-called injury management or whatever. Already drama in Philadelphia. They just made that. They just signed Paul George, and neither one of them has even played yet. I think Paul George is playing tonight. It was his first game or whatever. All these guys get paid all this money, and they don't even play. I remember those old NBA days where they played every game of the season back to back. People were hurt, and now all these superstars. No, I don't play back to back games. I won't play the second game. Whatever. Hell out with that. Shows you how the NBA got soft. Yeah, I still watch it. I know a lot of people still watch it, but it kind of got soft. And yeah, in the East, the Knicks are there, but I don't know if the Knicks how long they're gonna last. I still think the Boston coming out of the East again. I really think it's Boston's to lose. Boston just got a very complete team. I know it's so early. Just giving my 2 cents for now. I really won't get into basketball season until the NBA season I'm sorry, the NFL season is finished. Um, that was kind of my kind of do sports in season. You know what I mean? Um, oh, since last week, so transitioning, normal transition, right? Congratulations to the LA Dodgers winning the World Series, uh, beating the Yankees. Thank God, can't stand the Yankees. Not just because I'm a Red Sox fan, just I can't stand the Yankees. Can't stand the Yankees. Can't stand the Yankee fans. Um, yeah, I can't. Not can't say I'm a huge Dodger fan either, but out of the two, I take the Yankees over the Dodgers. I'm sorry, Dodgers over the Yankees. It was watching them win it in New York, just epic. Just watching them lose it at home, blowing that five run lead. Yeah, I was ecstatic. I was like, this couldn't happen to a better team, you know. Watching David Ortiz rub it in between Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter is always was always fun too. In case y'all didn't know, Ortiz was a Red Sox, and Rodriguez and Jeter Yankees. All three of them were on the MLB on Fox show. So, and they put the two Yankees. They basically surround Ortiz with two Yankees, which kind of messed up. But I guess that's why he does what he does. But yeah, again, congratulations to the Dodgers. Got two former Red Sox on there. Got Mookie and Kike. So, of course, one reason why I rooted for them. Need to get me a Ortiz My Dog shirt. I don't know where to find one of those, but handing them out left and right on set. But I love the way he goes, My Dog. So, but need to look for one of those. Y'all know where I can find one? Let me know, because I want to find one for me. Not for anybody else. For me, I'm gonna rock that thing whenever, as often as I can. But yeah, I will say another side note on that World Series. LA, when they were in LA, they had Ice Cube. And they were in New York, had Fat Joe. Now, this could just be me. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion. Ice Cube's performance blew Fat Joe's performance out of the water. Fat Joe's just looked very stale, very, I don't know. And then Ice Cube is over here doing his Ice Cube thing. You know what I mean by that? You know what I mean by that? Ice Cube. Gotta love Ice Cube. Love that dude. As a rapper, as an actor, love him. But going back to the performance, yeah, he just, when he was in LA, he tore that performance up, and Fat Joe's just looked terrible. Shouldn't even call him Fat Joe anymore. He's just Joe. He ain't fat no more. And I think it affects his rapping skills. But anyway, it's a conversation for another time. But yeah, so kind of glad that even at their parade, Ice Cube performed again. He had Dave Roberts out there dancing with him, and yeah, Ice Cube still got it. 50-some years old. I don't think he's 60 yet. 50-some years old, he still got it. A lot of these old rappers, side note, going off on a tangent. A lot of these older rappers, Ice Cube, Eminem just made his new album. I know LL Cool J got a new song or a new album that came out too. Apparently Snoop Dogg's doing a new stuff. These guys really do need to come back, because all this rap music now is crap. I don't understand a damn thing they're saying. They mumbling all the goddamn time. So yeah, I'm hoping they all just make a comeback and blow these other guys out of the water. Smash all these whatever current rappers there are now. But anyway, so back to the World Series, back to baseball. I know some news come out of that this week. Juan Soto for the Yankees, basically said, I'm not guaranteed to come back. Saw something on there where he may go, it's valued at like $700 million. It's like $700 million? I was like, shit. Played the wrong sport when I played basketball and football. Should have tried to play baseball when he was $700 million. Damn. But basically saying he's listened to all offers, may not necessarily go back to the Yankees. It may even go to the Dodgers. If the Dodgers can afford that. If they can get Soto, man, you might as well pencil in the Dodgers again for World Series run next year. They got a good pitching staff, and Otani's gonna pitch next year, so yeah, they would be a favorite if Soto went over. I think they're already a favorite to return, but you add Juan Soto, yeah, I think they'll be there too. Aaron Judge still catching crap for disappearing in October. See all these memes about him, it's hilarious. I think Garrett Cole can't make up his mind, opts out, and then decides to come back. So, I mean, I will say he's probably the only bright spot the Yankees had during the postseason with his pitching. Him and Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton, really the only consistent bright spots for the Yankees. Again, baseball is not my main sport. I'll watch it when I'm a Red Sox fan, so I'll watch Red Sox. I'll watch PR for the season, and then once the playoffs hit, yeah, I'll watch the playoffs. Not gonna lie, I did want to see the Guardians win. Just kind of like the movie Major League. I kept calling them the Indians and the Yankees. If you ain't seen Major League, go check it out. You know what I mean. I was waiting for one of them to come out of the bullpen like Rick Wild Thing Vaughn. Again, if you don't know who that is, go check it out. But yeah, it'll be interesting off season, see where people move. I also saw a rumor the other day that Bregman from Houston may end up in Boston. Which, hey, as a Red Sox fan, I'll take him. But I don't know if that means Houston's trying to rebuild or, again, it was just a rumor, so I don't know how true that is. But hey, stranger things have happened. Definitely hoping that the Red Sox pick up some free agents this year. I mean, they were right outside the wild card race, but again, being a Red Sox fan, they need to make some moves there too. So yeah, I mean, congratulations again to the Dodgers. Yankees fans, sorry, couldn't have happened to a better team. But yeah, so congratulations to them. Let's see what else will this weekend. Oh, there's UFC this weekend. It's just a fight night, not a pay-per-view. I would think a couple. They weren't officially title eliminators, but girl Thug Rose lost. I was hoping she would win. She wanted to see her fight Valentina, but she lost that fight in the 5th round. She was winning that fight, lost the 5th round, ended up losing the fight. So hopefully she'll come back. If you haven't seen Thug Rose Namajunas, go check her out. Shaves her head. She's like her name says, she fights like a little thug. What is she, strawweight now? Yeah, definitely. She's a little scrapper. Main event was Moreno, trying to get back to his title shot. Completely killed the dude. I can't remember the guy's name he fought. I don't mean to sound politically incorrect, but I think he was from somewhere in the Middle East, so I couldn't pronounce his name even if I wanted to. But it went to 5 rounds, and I was surprised it went 5 rounds. I thought he was going to dominate him. But yeah, I mean, there was a funny part in there where they asked him, "Are you okay?" So yes, I'm okay. Two eyes and a nose, I'm good. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I know he's trying to get his title back. I think he needs to probably have to go through a number 2 contender or number 1 contender. I can't even pronounce the dude's name either. Is Roy Ball or I butchered it, but whatever. So hopefully he'll get a shot at him soon. And then the big one's coming up November 16th. John Jones and Stipe for the heavyweight title. Fight's like 2 or 3 years in the making. Fingers crossed that fight actually happens and John Jones doesn't back out like he does with some of his other fights for personal reasons. But at the same time, hoping it's not like a 1-minute fight, because both these guys haven't fought in like 2 years, and hopefully there's no cage rust on any of them. But yeah, that's not this weekend. Next weekend, same weekend as the Tyson and Jake Paul fight, which finally gonna happen on Netflix. Which my personal opinion is, I hope Tyson knocks Jake Paul the hell out. Knocks him out so much that his brother Logan feels it. He's be talking all that trash about Mike Tyson, and I don't know about y'all watching Tyson train. I ain't messing with him. Nope, not at all. That man can still move, and I'm sure he's still got some power behind all that. Behind that, 57 years old. I think no, he might be 60. I don't know the exact age, but the man, for as old as he is, can still move. And I'm sure he's got power behind that. So yeah, that's definitely something that I wouldn't want to mess with. I don't know what Jake Paul thinking, and I'm hoping Jake Paul does not win that fight, because then to me that says Tyson took it just for the money and probably took a dive, which I hope Tyson doesn't do. Hopefully. Thank God it's on Netflix, because I wouldn't want to pay for that fight either if it turns out to be something as like a dive or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's pretty much covers, kind of what's going on this past week. I want to thank everybody, for who watched the first episode, gave me some good feedback, ideas. I am working on possibly getting a co-host and some guests that have expressed interest on, coming on. So if you do want to come on for a little bit, let me know. We'll see if we can work it out. Still trying to figure out the logistics of how to do it with a co-host, whether we're in the same place or we're not in the same place. So that's the reason why I don't have them now. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any ideas. Let me know if you want me to talk about anything specific. My uncle yesterday said, why don't you talk about girls volleyball? I was like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, Olympic girls volleyball. And if y'all understand that, you get that. I love my uncle though. He was like, yeah, I'd watch it real quick. I was like, you realize we're not watching girls volleyball, we're talking. And he's like, oh. But in addition, like I said, I want to do, obviously, drink beer while we do this. So you guys got suggestions for trying new beers, let me know. Definitely a beer person. I think next week I'm going to try Sam Adams Light. And if I run out of suggestions, I'll drink whatever I have. But let me know if y'all got suggestions as far as that goes. Any ideas you may have, any way I can improve, these podcasts. Definitely open to suggestions. So it's a work in progress, but I enjoy doing it. Like I said, it's gives me a way to speak my mind, whether you like it or not. No offense to anybody. Y'all know me. You don't like what I say? Well, shit, I'm gonna say it anyway. Yeah, but I appreciate everybody that watched it the first time. And if you watched it to this point, I appreciate you still sitting through it again. And apparently my kids told me I messed up. Apparently, I guess I'm supposed to ask for y'all to hit like the like button on these videos or whatever. Shows you how well I do this, right? Hit the like button. Apparently that does something for me. I don't know what. And the subscribe button. Shows you how I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But yeah, like and subscribe. I do put the links on my social media pages, so definitely feel free to share those. But I appreciate everybody that's watched this. Last thing I want to say is, like, I know I touched on it earlier. Tomorrow being joking around. I was joking around about the trade deadlines and the college football playoff. But get real for like a minute. Tomorrow's election day. We're all adults. Everybody behave. Don't need to go off in a rant because we didn't get what we want. That's how life is. You don't get what you want all the time. So you just got to deal with it. We're all humans. Not everybody's going to vote for the same people. People make mistakes. You know what? You deal with it. You live with it. Move on. We all just need to make sure we can all coexist with each other with that. Whether you voted for this person, you voted for that person, you like this, you like that, whatever. Everybody gets their own opinion. So hoping people act normal tomorrow. Don't act a fool. Don't cause riots. Just let the election go. We did our part. That's what the democracy that we live in. So yeah, that's it. That's my PSA. Again, not a political person, but I also don't want to see shit hit the fan. I also don't want to see us go into World War III or anything like that. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Yeah. So in closing, guys, again, thank you all for watching. Um, I guess it's a lot of these podcasts I watch. They say something in closing. It's kind of like their trademark. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna say yet, but that's what I will say is we're all human. We all make mistakes. Everyone should forgive people making those mistakes. Don't hold grudges. Life is short. Enjoy your life. Do what you want to do. Whether y'all like my podcast or not, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so appreciate y'all watching it. Love all of y'all. And again, hit the like and subscribe button before my kids get mad at me. All right, night.